Do you have any idea of what you're doing or where you're going? Do you feel like you're going in meandering and pointless directions? Do you feel lost at sea and you feel like you're building the railway as the train is leaving the station? Have your PCs hit level 5 and you have no idea where to go from here? Are you confused of the fact that you are lost at sea and for some reason you're building a railway? If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, can I still hear it if I roll a natural 20 perception? This is Dice Brain. Writing your campaign from level 1 to 20 is easy. It is easy peasy, squeeze that lemon on me. You may think prepping one session is hard as a DM. No, it isn't. Prepping the entire campaign isn't even that hard. You just gotta know how to put everything together. The main question you gotta be asking yourself as you're writing a campaign is, how do I keep these player characters risking their lives? Every single adventure your player characters go on, they're probably risking their lives for some kind of reward. How do I keep them doing this until they hit level 20? That answer is actually very simple. Your players have already given you the reason as to why they're adventuring. All you need to outline a campaign from level 1 to 20 is a paragraph of backstory from each of your player characters. Because whether they mean to or not, the backstory of your player characters is your players telling you what they expect from the campaign that you're writing. And with those expectations that the player characters have given you, you're able to use those backstories as ingredients for this big meal that you're cooking up, which is your campaign. Read through your player characters' backstories. If they don't have backstories, just ask for a paragraph. 5 sentences. That's all you need, and you'll be able to extract little bits of information that you can use later on as you're writing the campaign. You will be able to find ghosts, not like spooky, haunty ghosts, but like things that happen in your backstory that still haunt your characters. Are they looking for revenge? Are they looking for redemption? Do they have debts that they still need to pay off? Look for factions that your characters were a part of, like Thieves Guilds, the Lord's Alliance, Holy Orders, because factions will have missions that they're on, and missions will be a way to keep your character motivated. Unanswered questions, mysteries that they need to find answers to. What happened to my father? What happened to my child? Where can I find this lost artifact? Ambition is great. I want to become the best pirate ever. I want to become the best paladin. I want to become the best ever wizard. NPCs that need something that they can't have. Maybe they have an important NPC that has an illness and the character needs to find the cure to that illness. Or maybe it's just plain old greed. Maybe they just want lots of money, and in order to gain lots of money, they are gonna go on an adventure to find lots of money. You just need to look through the backstories and find what motivates them and use that motivation as their hook. Once you have your hooks, then you need to start working on your build-up. I'll show you what that means at the whiteboard. To prove a point, I had my friend Conrad come up with 5 different characters with 5 different backstories. There's about a paragraph or 2 each, and I am going to make a campaign out of all 5 of these backstories. That is what you are going to witness today. Let's see. Ferris Ignay. Ferris was born into a church that follows Tiamat. We got a lot of good content here. We got some stuff that we can really work with. Let's see. Let's start with the Tiamat cult here. It looks like we got our final boss right there, Tiamat. I'll write down the challenge rating right next to that right there. We got these rivals that Ferris has. We can use that at any point in the campaign. We can introduce them. Maybe the agent that was part of Ferris's backstory is a part of this Tiamat cult. This is interesting right here. The underwater city that they found, that this character found. I think this is a good prompting of a water elemental plane style adventure. What's that challenge rating for Kraken? Isn't there like CR 23? That would be a good like level 9 through 15 style adventures going through the water elemental plane. There's potential with this. There's not a lot there, but that just means there's a lot we can fill in. We have Delmain here with a corrupted homeland. When I think of a corrupted homeland, I think of that one monster. What's it called? Shit, I think it's called a corpse flower. It's like a CR8 thing. And then here we have a clan prophecy, and maybe this prophecy is going to have something to do with killing Tiamat here. So I think the level 16 through 20 adventure is going to be Tiamat. The adventure can also be finding the ingredients to forge the weapon of prophecy in this person's backstory. We have Delmain here, which can be like a good, there's a good jungle adventure somewhere in there. I'm thinking since they're a Leonin, which is basically like the lion folk, we could have gnolls in that adventure, which are about CR 1/2 to CR 4. Maybe have them face off against some gnolls that are protecting this corpse flower here. Maybe these gnolls are working for a green dragon. Maybe it's a green dragon and a corpse flower that are working together. I like that idea. That seems like a pretty good adventure. All right, I think I have an idea of what's going on. All of these characters are kind of representing of a plane outside of the material plane. So we have the Tiamat cult here, which represents the 9 hells. We have the underwater city, which is going to be the water elemental plane. We have the corrupted homeland of Delmain, and that corrupted homeland could be corruption coming from I think either the Feywild or the Shadowfell. We have Bristle here, which is who's forging this weapon. I think the forge would be like the fire elemental plane. And then we also have Thorn here, who has who basically is seeing dead people. There's a ghost in their backstory, which I connect to the the astral plane, I think it was. No, it was something else. The spiritual plane, the plane with all the ghosts in it. Maybe what the campaign can be is all of these different extra planar events bleeding into the material plane, where we start with facing off against the green dragon and the gnolls and stuff like that, and then we work our way up to Tiamat here. So now we have ourselves a theme, we have ourselves a story hook. Our theme for the story hook is going to be the planes of existence bleeding in to the material plane. No, what's that one? What's it called? I gotta grab the player's handbook. I don't remember what it's called. What is it called? Ethereal plane. So now I put together 5 elemental planes, and all these 5 elemental planes are going to be bleeding into the material plane, and that's going to be what the players are going to have to fight. Now all we have to do is come up with the order of which they're going to come up with it. Well, first I think the starting adventure, I'll say levels 1 to 3, is going to be discovery. They're all going to be discovering the different the planes that are bleeding in to material existence. Ooh! The Feywild. They are going to discover blink dogs. We're gonna have some low-level Feywild adventures. Blink dogs are so great. I fucking love blink dogs. They're these CR 1/4 wolves that can teleport. And so we're gonna have those guys face off against the players, and maybe that's how they all discover each other. Is that how they all form together as a party? They form together, trying to escape the Feywild. Maybe you could even run Wild Beyond the Witchlight to start the adventure. We'll say the main boss of this is going to be a Warlock of the Archfey, because those guys are like CR. We have the 9 Hells, which is going to have us face off against Tiamat, so I think we're going to save that for last. I think for the Water Elemental Plane, I want them to fight a Kraken, which is CR 23. Fire Plane, what can we have them fight for the Fire Plane? Maybe a Fire Giant. Those are pretty good. What's the challenge rating of a Fire Giant? CR 9.
Ooh, there's a lot of stuff I can do with that. Invisible Stalker. Resistance. Ooh. The Shadowfell. We can do a young red Shadow Dragon. Oh, you know what? We could do the green dragon from the Jungle Adventure. And then when they kill the green dragon, it has a second phase and becomes a shadow dragon. That would be awesome. You know what? Screw it. I'm not doing the ethereal plane. I am going to be doing the Astral Sea, because the Astral Sea seems to just have more going on, especially in the vein of Slod. I never got to use Slod. I really want to use Slod. What I think I'm going to do, one, they discover that the elemental planes are bleeding into our reality, and they end up going into the Feywild where they all meet each other. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a jungle adventure after that. We're going to go to the Leonins' home village. Maybe the Feywild dumps them back into where their home is, and that leads us to a jungle game where we find the Shadowfell bleeding through, and they find a green dragon commanding a bunch of gnolls. And maybe there's also a corpse flower involved, because I still want to need the corpse flower. And then let's send them into the fire plane. And I feel like that can get the players to level 10. And there we'll find the recipe for the sword, the master sword that the dwarf wanted to make. Next, we're gonna go into the Astral Sea. Levels 11 through, let's say 11 through 14. 11 through 14 seems good to me. And there, I think we can have them deal with, I think I spelled aberrations wrong. They're going to be dealing with aberrations there, including Slod, but also like, you know, mind flares, beholders, all that good stuff. They're high enough level for that. And then we're going to have them level 15 through 17. Let's do 15 through 17. Where they're going to be in the water plane. And maybe this is where the sword is crafted. And we're also going to have a Kraken, because I've never run a Kraken before, and I think having a Kraken against like a level 17 party would be pretty cool. And then we go level 18 to 20, the 9 hells, baby, where we fight Tiamat. There we go. All right. Easy. This is what we got. We are going to start with all of the players getting Alice in Wonderlanded into the Feywild. There they deal with all different sorts of Fey creatures. They fight this warlock to get out of the Feywild, which they discover that all of the different planes of existence are bleeding into the material plane, and the players have to go and stop this from happening. That's level 1 through 4. Levels 5 through 7. They find themselves in the hometown of the Ranger, where they discover that the Shadowfell is corrupting the homeland of the Ranger. They find a pack of gnolls working for a green dragon who is opening this portal to the Shadowfell. They deal with the gnolls. They deal with the green dragon, but the green dragon has a second phase. They turn into a shadow dragon. That'll make a pretty cool boss battle. And then, but they'll defeat the green dragon and defeat its second form and close the portal to the Shadowfell. After that, they are going to hear about this, maybe a volcano erupts. Yo, a volcano erupts, and that opens the portal to the fire plane, and they have to go into the fire plane to like stop the volcano from erupting. And in there, you know, they go throughout the fire plane, and you can have all the different like fire elemental stuff. They're eventually going to have to fight a modified fire giant, like a fire giant dreadnought or something like that. I think that's in Volo's guide. They're also going to discover the recipe for the Sword of Destiny that's in the backstory of the dwarf character. After that, ooh, you know what I love? Alien invasions. We can have the Astral Sea adventure be like an alien invasion, and they have to go into this alien invasion thing, and they're gonna fight all these different aberrations and stop the Astral Sea, the literal night sky, from encapsulating the rest of the world, right? Once they beat it, they think they're done, they think it's over with. No, it starts raining a lot. The whole world is getting flooded by the water plane, right? They have to go into the water plane, plug the thing. That's where they craft the Sword of Legend. But in order to stop the whole world from flooding, they're gonna fight a massive Kraken. Once the Kraken is dealt with, there's only one enemy that they have left. The Kobold encounters their rival from their backstory, and they discover that the 9 hells are being opened. And who's at the other end? Tiamat. Dragons invading the material plane everywhere. Dragons here, dragons there, dragons everywhere. It's like the Chroma Conclave art from Critical Role. This massive invasion of demonic dragons comes in, and they have to go into the 9 hells, layer by layer, until they get to the Den of Tiamat, where the campaign over their level 20, and they have to face off against the Dragon Queen herself. So that's a whole campaign that I just wrote out in like half an hour. We have the level like beginning adventure, 2, 4, 5, 6 chapters across all 20 levels. This is an actual pretty solid campaign. All you need to do at this point is come up with the individual dungeons and adventures for each one of these chapters, but now you know how each chapter can flow into each other. They all have somewhat something to do with the backstories of the characters. I couldn't really think of a way to incorporate the backstory of that one Dragonborn dude. I'm gonna have to figure out something for them later. I think that's something you will discover in game. You'll see what the player's motivations are, and then you'll be able to work off of that. But yeah, we have a whole campaign written out. Like and subscribe. I got a Patreon. You can join the Patreon, help me out. If you don't want to subscribe to a whole Patreon, I also have merch. I got a link tree. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got stickers, we got notebooks. It is freaking insane over there. So just check that out. Take a look at it. And that's the end of the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what kind of campaigns you like running. And this was Dice Brain. Bye.